The AI trade just split in two, and most investors are playing the wrong one. Here's the thing, you can be completely right that AI wins and still lose money on every single AI stock you're holding. It's not a contradiction. That's where we are right now. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where the split happened, which layer of the AI stack actually captures the win, and what 3 signals tell you which side of this trade you're currently on. If you don't understand this split, you'll keep buying AI dips for the wrong reason, at the wrong level, in the wrong names, and you'll wonder why it's not working when the technology is clearly taking over the world. Let's start with what most people think is happening. OpenAI just raised $40 billion. Anthropic raised $4 billion from Google alone. Both are planning IPOs. The narrative? These are the picks and shovels of the AI era. Companies that print money as the world runs on their models, raising at historical valuations because the revenue is coming. That's the setup. Here's where it falls apart. Anthropic Claude Max, $200 a month. What does that actually buy you in tokens at list price? $8,000 worth. That's a 40x subsidy. You pay $200, Anthropic eats the other $7,800. OpenAI GPT Pro, same $200. At list price, you're getting $14,000 worth of tokens, 70 times the sticker price. And it's not just consumers. Startups are receiving more than $3 million in AI credits from multiple companies simultaneously. $3 million. That's the median US seed round. Companies about to go public are handing startups the equivalent of an entire venture-backed raise in free tokens. The unit economics are not what the pitch decks say. That's bullish for rooting and inference customers. But think about what that means for the other side. Token prices are structurally deflationary, not because the competition is squeezing margins by accident, because these companies are choosing to subsidize usage to win market share before the IPO window closes. The companies investors think are printing money are burning capital to lock in users. The bullish AI story and the bullish AI stock story are 2 separate bets. Most people are only asking one question. They need to be asking both. So if token prices are falling by design, what does that do to the hardware demand thesis? A lot of investors aren't holding model companies. They're in chips, data centers, picks and shovels. Let's look at what those are telling us right now. The picks and shovels logic is clean. Even if you don't know which AI company wins the model war, hardware is hardware. Somebody's buying the servers. Chips move either way. Samsung reported blowout earnings. Revenue beat. Strong chip demand. Everything the AI hardware bull wanted to see in a quarterly report. The stock didn't move. In a commodity cycle, when good news doesn't bid the price, that's usually the top. That's how cycles end. The market already priced the demand. What it didn't price was the ceiling. Hardware is beginning to roll over. Hyperscalers are holding in. That divergence is the tell. You've got one part of the stack fading while the other holds, and most people are still positioned in the part that's fading. Goldman's One Delta desk said they're extremely bullish on AI, but then they said something most people skipped past. They're much less convinced that they've backed the right parts of the value chain. The frame they used was the hyperscalers own the toll road, not just the car. If you're in the car manufacturer, the GPU maker, the inference chip company, the server rack builder, you're exposed to every new model that needs fewer chips to run. You're exposed to every efficiency breakthrough. You're exposed to exactly what's happening right now. The toll road collects the fee regardless of which car passes through. Hardware and semis are the momentum trade that's stalling, and the Samsung print was the tell most people missed. Good earnings, stock goes nowhere. That's the commodity cycle top signal. The toll road framework gives you a filter to sort every AI adjacent name you're holding right now. Are you on the road or are you selling cars? But the toll road thesis only holds if the road is still the best route. What if somebody's building a faster road? The Western AI moat, the capability gap that justifies all of this infrastructure spending. Let's talk about how wide that actually is. The entire AI infrastructure bull case rests on one assumption. Western frontier models are years ahead. GPT, Claude, Gemini, they're years out front. Chinese competitors are playing catch-up with inferior chips. That's the moat. The moat holds, valuations hold. The trade works. The gap on some AI metrics right now is 2.7%. Not 27%, 2.7%. Competitive on SWE bench, competitive on math, competitive on reasoning. The gap averaged about 7 months behind. It's closed significantly. Open weight Chinese models are leading in cost efficiency. They don't need to be competitive at the frontier on every task. They just need to be competitive on most tasks. Most tokens simply don't require frontier intelligence. If the majority of influence runs on cheaper, more efficient models, and those models are increasingly built outside of the US, the demand for frontier hardware is overstated. Not wrong, overstated. Now here's what most people still believe about DeepSeek. Software competitor, cheaper model, an efficiency story. That's the old version of the threat. DeepSeek is building inference chips aimed directly at NVIDIA. This is no longer a software attack. It's converting a model efficiency advantage into a hardware attack. The moat isn't closing in one dimension. It's closing on two, capability and cost, from the same competitor at the same time. Two moats eroding in parallel. Capability gap 2.7%. Cost moat gone. And now a hardware attack from the same player. If you're betting US AI wins and chip demand stays elevated, both variables are moving against you simultaneously. Token prices deflationary, hardware rolling, moat closing. There has to be a part of the AI stack that still captures this trade. And there is, but it's probably not what most investors are holding right now. I'm not bearish on AI. The technology works. The AI story is intact. The AI stock story is a different bet though, and most retail investors haven't separated those two. You'd expect a company raising $40 billion to be tightening pricing before an IPO. They're doing the opposite. OpenAI and Anthropic are heading into public offerings in the middle of a subsidy war they're choosing to fight. Token prices are falling. Chinese competitors are undercutting on cost and now building competing chips. The capital raise is funding the very price war that makes the IPO math harder. Neoclouds are squeezed from both sides. Subsidized pricing makes retail rates impossible to charge. And hyperscaler scale shuts out enterprise. Hardware proxies? Samsung proved that story is priced in. Mining stocks and industrials that rebranded as AI proxies sit furthest from the toll road. Every efficiency gain that cuts token prices cuts their power demand thesis too. Hyperscalers win regardless of which model company wins the war. Microsoft, Azure, Amazon, AWS, Alphabet, Google Cloud, often Meta and Oracle are folded in too, since they own massive data capacity and distribution. They own the infrastructure. They collect the toll. Every model that runs, OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepSeek, whatever comes next, runs on their pipes. It's the only true model agnostic position in this stack. Inference customers benefit directly from token deflation. Cheaper tokens mean more usage, more value for everything built on top. The investor who bought AI without asking which layer, right about the technology, wrong about the trade. You have the filter. Pull up every AI name you're holding and ask one question. Am I on the toll road or am I selling cars? The answer sorts your portfolio. You now know why the AI trade split. AI companies are deliberately subsidizing token usage by 40x to 70x to win market share before their IPOs, which makes token prices structurally deflationary and means the only defensible AI trade is the hyperscalers who own the toll road, not the hardware. But knowing the wrong names are crowded isn't the same as knowing what price is actually doing right now, or when this structural story becomes a tradable event. Here's what understanding that story also doesn't give you: the truth about price. It gives you a narrative, and narratives matter, but price is what tells you whether the narrative is true or not. The measured move is a framework for knowing the direction of price. It tells you whether this narrative is being confirmed by price or not. If you act on a story like this without that framework, you could be right about everything you just heard and still be on the wrong side of a trade for days, weeks, or even months. That is the framework that I teach. The traders in my community don't get trapped by bearish narratives. They know where a trend fails, and until it does, until price confirms it, They will trade a bullish trend until it fails, even if it is against a bearish narrative. They have a framework for reading it themselves. That's the process I teach every day at eminiaddict.com.